Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 507.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
Welcome back to the Mums with Hustle podcast, my beautiful freedom makers. I'm your host, Tracy Harris, and today's episode is one that I've been wanting to have for a little while because it's a big one in the world of showing up online. And actually, at the time that I'm recording this, just moments earlier, I shared a reel on Instagram that has the words or has the I don't know, it's a quote. It says, "She's cringe." And the amount of times that I've been called cringe, I don't know. I'm not actually counting them. I mean, of course people are finding me cringe. I live a very courageous life. I am an audacious lady. I don't really care what other people think. And I wasn't always like that. So anyway, I pressed post on that reel. And quite quickly, there was like a little bit of energy behind it from you ladies, and energy in the DMs in the form of replies, energy in the chat, people, saying yes. Because I think I said in that caption, like, fly your freak flag. And I've said that for years. And every time I say that, people really love that saying. So maybe we need to take that on as a community and reference that a bit more. Because yes, we should be flying our freak flags. We need to give ourselves the freedom to be uniquely us. And if we are building a personal brand online, we need to be cringe. All right, let's talk about that. All right. So yeah, we are going to talk about being cringe in this episode. It's something that so many people avoid. But what if being cringe is actually the portal to your next level of freedom, to your next level of authenticity and to business growth? So that's what I want to talk about right here, right now, while that reel has just been shared and while you are all in the energy of wanting to be more cringe. I had someone write a comment saying that she is in her cringe era right now. And so, when I saw that, I was thinking, yes, sister, but also, are you in the era of feeling cringe and resisting, or are you in the era of feeling cringe and still posting the content? Are you in the era of having other people notice your cringe and reflect that back to you in the form of judgment or comments or side eye, or just not really showing up and even supporting or liking your posts anymore? Like, what is going on? Are you in the era of being cringe, being observed as being cringe, knowing that people think you're cringe, and being on the other side of the cringe and actually not even caring? Because that is a very fun place to be. All right. But, what does cringe even mean? What does cringe mean? Well, to me, it's that moment when you post something. It's a reel, it's a story, it's a caption, and you immediately feel the wave of ick wash over you. And you think, oh my gosh, like, what are people going to think about me? What if people think that I'm trying too hard? What if people think I'm too dramatic? What if people think I'm too emotional? What if people think I'm too loud? What if they cringe seeing this? What if they unfollow me? Yeah, so that right there is what I call the cringe threshold. You and I, we all have different thresholds for our cringe. My threshold has increased dramatically over the past 10 years. Some people find it incredibly cringe to see anyone in public creating content openly, whether it's them recording a video, a reel in public, recording a set of Instagram stories in public, or getting a photo shoot. If you want to increase your threshold of cringe, you should come to Canggu in Bali, go to the beach at sunset, and you are going to see so many people creating content in front of everybody and just not caring. They have set up their tripod on the sand. They are rolling around in the waves, getting wet, looking sexy, doing all kinds of poses and not caring. Or they are walking with their shirts off, talking about the men, walking with their shirts off, strutting their stuff, showing their lifestyle, putting some kind of inspirational quote over the top, not caring, being cringe. Or they are at the gym. Again, they're getting someone to film them, or they're propping their camera up on something, or they are quite literally walking around with a tripod and just recording themselves training, getting all of the angles, juicy peaches on display. Again, it's in the name of content. It's in the name of educating the people or inspiring others. Also, to the conditioned, like as in societal conditioning, and to the regular viewer, all of those things seem cringe. But when you are building an online business and you are building a personal brand and you are being authentic, that's required. You need to increase your cringe threshold because here's the truth. If you're not bumping up against your own cringe threshold regularly, you are probably playing it safe. When was the last time you did something different in your Instagram marketing? Like truly, if you are getting bored with showing up online, maybe you need to be a little bit more cringe. Like maybe you need to do a little lip syncing reel every now and then. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying be a little playful, be a little cringe. Maybe you're taking yourself too damn seriously. Maybe going live on Instagram is something that you don't do because you think, oh, my audience isn't really big enough, or no one really shows up anyway, or cringe, how embarrassing, like whatever. If it's cringe, you should do it. You need to be constantly bumping up against your own cringe threshold, and you need to be bumping up against it regularly. Stretch yourself, because if you are operating inside of your comfort zone, I am willing to bet that you are blending in. You're blending in, you're not standing out. This isn't about being like loud and shouty and like just screaming for attention. We don't want to do that because that's got like it lands differently. It's got an energy that feels a little off, right? But even those people, that's like good on them. Good on them for trying. Good on them for taking up space. Good on them for being a little bit wobbly or imperfect as they try to find their brand personality. Like, good on them. At least they're doing something and they're not being beige. That's what I think. Anyway, being cringe. To me, it means that you're visible. It means that you are expressing yourself fully. It means that you are trying something new. Cringe is not bad. It probably just feels unfamiliar. You feel a bit exposed and vulnerable. And whenever we feel like that, it feels awkward before it becomes embodied. Every single version of you that has grown, that has evolved, every pivot, every expansion, you had to outgrow an old identity. You had to outgrow it. You had to almost be so fed up with it, or you had to like just totally bury her, burn it, whatever, move on, reinvent. And think about it. The first time that maybe you spoke to the camera in your stories, it more than likely felt cringe. The first time maybe you went live on Instagram, it felt cringe. I remember the first time I went live on any platform ever, it felt so cringe. The first time that you ever had to sell an offer to anybody, cringe. The first time that you had to sell the offer publicly, like, hello, and maybe it was a live launch or something like that. Now there's people there. You're selling to all of the people. You're not just like selling one-on-one in the DMs or like a little email or a phone call. No, you are selling publicly online. Double cringe. It feels awkward. The first time you introduced yourself as a business owner or a coach, a course creator, a leader, if you've ever stood in front of a room and talked about who you are, what you do, like the first time you do that, it feels cringe and awkward. But now those things are second nature. You probably coach others through the very thing that once terrified you, whatever your niche is. Maybe going to your first gym class felt really cringe to you. Maybe going to your first business event, an in-person business event, going alone felt cringe. I remember going to the movies on my own and having that feel cringe. And now I'm just like, that sounds like heaven to me. Sign me up. I want to go. Can I please only go by myself? That would be nice. Anyway, I remember just even being terrified to join programs, invest in myself, increase Facebook ads budget, hire someone in my business, have to fire someone in my business, call a mentee out on their own stuff. Like all of these things, they felt awkward, they felt cringe, they felt uncomfortable. But, the only way to get to the other side is to go through it, to emote through the process. So the cringe that you feel today isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you are stepping into your next level. Your next level is calling you. It's a portal. It's a threshold. You are moving through that doorway to the other side. So cringe, to me, we got to celebrate the cringe because it is simply the sound of your old self being shared. Like it's a major pattern interrupt. Every time you take up space, every time you post that content and you be more cringe, you are shedding the old self. And, every single confident leader that you admire, the ones that you see speaking effortlessly online, sharing bold opinions, wearing whatever outfits, like doing whatever photo shoot they're doing, talking about money, embodying their message, they didn't get there by avoiding the cringe. They got there by walking through the cringe. So let's not shame anyone, bag anyone out. Like, let's just clap. Let's clap for her. She embraced the cringe and she got to the other side where she no longer cares what you or anyone else thinks. And isn't that a nice freedom-filled place to be? I want to tell you a little secret about the online world. And that is that polished perfection, that doesn't create connection. Authenticity does. And nothing is more authentic than someone who is willing to look naturally awkward or sound a little bit dorky or take a risk that might flop, but they do it anyway. This week, where I'm recording this, I shared in my Instagram stories a video that my eldest son took of me trying my first bintang in Bali. I've lived in Bali for 18 months. I've not had a bintang. I'm not a beer person. I actually loathe it. It's gross. I've tried many beers over the years. I'm 41 years old. Of course I've tried beer. I don't like it. It's gross. But anyway, I continue to try things, right? And Bali, bintang, you kind of have to do it, I think. So I tried and it was so gross to me. I'm still not a beer person. It's okay if you love it. Anyway, this morning I went to the gym and I bumped into a friend here in Bali. She was laughing. She was like, "Oh my gosh, Tracy, so dramatic in the stories yesterday, trying the bintang. Come on, girlfriend." And I just laughed and I was like, I am the drama. I am dramatic. Like instead of being offended by those comments, I just laughed. I was like, it was very suspenseful, wasn't it? Like, yeah, I didn't like it. Her and I bonded over that. We had a little laugh. She's telling me, she's like, "But girl, there's nothing better than a cold bintang on a really hot day and you like crack it by the pool and you're with your friends." And I was like, well, I guess I can't attend that party because I am just not there for the bintang, but you can give me a gin and tonic. And so anyway, then we had a little laugh, or you can give me an extra dirty martini. And then, she was like, "Oh yeah, like the dirtier the better." And ha ha ha. And we had all of the giggles. But the fact of the matter is, her perception of me sipping on the bintang was dramatic, maybe cringe. She didn't say that, but it could have been. But who cares? I was real. I was myself. I don't like the beer. It stinks. It has yeast. Why are people enjoying that? I don't understand. Anyway, your people, your true soulmate clients are drawn to your humanity. They're not drawn to your highlight reel. And when you let yourself be a little more cringe, you give other people permission to do the same. You model courage, you model freedom. That's magnetic. I think also that's why people really enjoy seeing my bloopers. So whenever I go into the recording studio, there are guaranteed to be bloopers because I'm a person. I have like sometimes little to no patience when I've been standing there recording things. Sometimes I get tongue-tied. Sometimes my social battery dies and I just get a little bit like spaced out. Sometimes, whatever. But capturing, that's all caught on camera. And so something that we do is we just send all the footage off to our video editor and we're like, if there are any bloopers in there, because there just always are, like little moments of whatever, even if it's a fly that I need to swat out of my face or a squeaky chair or whatever it is, those human moments, they're authentic and people enjoy seeing them. Let's just be a little bit more real. That's partly why also FaceTime-style reels, and I actually predicted this, could have been at the beginning of last year, that in my Instagram predictions episode, that we're going to be seeing the rise of that in popularity. So this is where you just hold your phone at any angle. You don't have to be looking perfect. Your lighting doesn't have to be looking perfect. You don't have to have a perfect set. You don't have to be sitting stationary and being idle. You can be walking around, doing whatever, but it's like you are FaceTiming a friend. You could be pushing a shopping trolley, picking up some groceries and just speaking to the camera, kind of leaning on the handle of your trolley and just having a bit of a chat, sharing a thought, sharing an opinion. People enjoy watching FaceTime sort of reels. Like it's authentic, but you might feel really cringe in the moment for doing it. You might feel not put together. You might not feel ready. You might feel a little tongue-tied, but who cares? That is probably the very thing that is going to connect you most deeply with your audience. So here are a couple of practical ways to start embracing your cringy moments and transforming them into confidence. The first one is post before you think. I remember sharing this way back, literally 10 years ago. And if you scroll all the way back on my feed, you will probably see a very ugly, cringy looking text graphic that talks about this. And it's the idea that you need to strike when you're feeling brave. If your heart says, share this, I want you to share it before your brain starts editing your authenticity out of it. So for me, my creativity and my confidence comes in spurts. Like it's not always there. I'm a confident person, but like sometimes I have my moments too. And so when I'm feeling that burst of creativity and feeling that burst of confidence or bravery, pick up the phone and record yourself saying it. Who cares if the background is a mess or if your face or your hair or your whatever isn't together? Just post it before you overthink it. Do it in real time. Number 2, collect evidence of your growth or positive feedback from other people when you are embracing the cringe. Focus on the positives of that, the positive feedback. Have a look at your earliest posts or your first reels ever and just see how far you've come. Collect that as evidence of like, wow, look at how much better I've gotten over time. Of course, now that you're going to the next level, you're going to start at the bottom of that level and you're going to improve over time. But you've done it time and time and time again. And often revisiting your earliest attempts of anything will be very humbling. You may have a little bit of a chuckle, but you can be so, so proud of yourself. And just, notice how far you've come. What was once awkward is now really natural for you. And that becomes proof that cringe leads to mastery. Number 3, start reframing cringe as courage. Every single time you feel embarrassed or vulnerable, tell yourself, this is what courage feels like. I've got no doubt you encourage your children, those of you that have children, or maybe you've taught children, or maybe you've been camp leaders or, nannies, babysitters, whatever, coaches. Like we want someone to be encouraging children to be courageous every single day in the things that they do. So, this is why I actually like to do something unfamiliar or something scary often, like almost every day. Do something every day that scares you. Do something every day that feels cringe. Maybe it is saying hello to a stranger. Maybe that feels really cringe to you. Do that. Compliment someone. Put yourself outside of your comfort zone because the cringe is courage. Number 4, celebrate your experiment. Some posts that you do on Instagram, some stories, some lives, some reels, whatever, some are going to flop. That's normal. And some won't. But none of them are failures. They're information, they're data, or they're practice. And at the very least, it's progress. So celebrate it every single time instead of beating yourself up about, results. We need to let go of that, okay? Embrace the cringe. Be more cringe. When I started my business 10 years ago, I had to let go of so much fear of being seen, and I didn't let go of it all at once either. It has been slowly. It's been over every single one of those days within the past 10 years. And the cool thing is that I know I will constantly come up against new cringe thresholds. Like I'm constantly moving forward and going through my own next level, my own cringy portal to the next level. And the more I do that, the more freedom I claim for myself and the more beautiful humans I meet also. So yes, I had to let go of so much fear of being seen, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of what people may or may not say. And I talk about that a lot here on the podcast because the truth is those fears never completely disappear, but what changes is your relationship with them and how much of your brain space it occupies and therefore how much of your energy it drains. So now when I feel the cringe rising up, I smile, I celebrate because I know it means that I'm expanding, I maybe have a little laugh, and I know it means that I'm alive. It means that I'm growing. It means that I'm leading. It means that I'm not blending in. So to you ladies out there that want to accept the invitation to fly your freak flag more, to be more cringe, go for it. Be more you, be more expressed, be more playful, be less serious, be more brave, because the women that are willing to look back and the women that are willing to be cringe today, actually, and then look back and be so proud of their cringe, they're the ones that everyone else will be calling the leaders tomorrow. Just remember that, all right? Now, if this episode spoke to you, take a screenshot or take a selfie of where you're listening from. Share it on your Instagram stories. Be cringe. Tag me at Mums with Hustle and tell me your next cringy move. Like, what's it going to be? What are you going to do? And just remember, courage always comes before confidence. Stop waiting around to feel confident. Confidence is only created from you being courageous, from you taking steps. So with that being said, I will see you in the next episode and stay cringe. Bye.